What? I'm like, I'm like really low. I don't know what's happening, but we're gonna roll with it. Maybe I can adjust a little bit, little bit. There we go. I was like out of frame. I was like out of frame. Okay, what's up, everybody? Good to be back as always. And I feel like lately we've been talking a little bit about Flesh and Blood a little bit too much. So it's about time to start actually playing some. So that's what we're gonna do. We're not gonna yap for 30 minutes. Instead, we're gonna yap for about 5 to 10 minutes. We're gonna do a whole deck tech. This echo goes crazy. Is it echoing? Is it actually echoing? Is that a thing? Is it me? Let me know. Let me know if we got audio issues. But yeah, we're gonna do a deck tech. We're gonna dive straight into it. We have a brand new concept on Briar in Silver Age. I had the stream open twice. That is hilarious. We are definitely gonna do a little bit of yapping. So like we still have to fulfill that requirement because I do agree. I I do like to indulge a little bit in the yapping. But so yeah, as far as like the past week, 2 weeks of Flesh and Blood, like I've, to be completely honest, been taking a little bit of a break. Not like running away from the game, just life is a little bit busy and things of that nature. And yeah, there's just I'm not going to Seattle, so there's nothing to really be preparing for. For me personally, I know there's events going on um all over the world for the next month. We're not getting that true downtime like we used to. It's just a little bit of a slowdown. And of course, we had the calling Valencia, and it's pretty neat seeing the meta kind of a little shaken up a little bit compared to what we expected. And so that's definitely, I think, a positive. I think that LSS is still in a spot to where they really probably need to inject a little bit of change. And we're not talking about a whole lot of change, right? We're just talking about ban a card or two, not because something's too strong, but literally just to shake it up, give people a little bit more room to kind of brew and things like that. And of course, we're talking about classic constructed, not Silver Age. Silver Age still needs a little bit of time to kind of maybe there's a couple things that you could hit, but like for the most part, it's still being kind of figured out, quote unquote. And yeah, so I think that things in CC will change come this next ban announcement. Or that's a good point in chat. They could also unban something, right? And more than happy and willing to entertain that as well. But I think that LSS is kind of in that spot to where they just need to shake it up a little bit. I'm not saying the meta's dead. Obviously, we've had quite the evolution of certain stuff changing, more representation of Mario. We got Lyth peeking his head around the corner. Reinar and Nacilio making an uptick, stuff like that. Like some really cool stuff going on in the meta. I just think I don't know how long that lasts, right? I don't think it's going to last till the next set comes out. People are probably going to get a little bit tired of it, especially when our TN season comes around. So I think they just need to shake it up a little bit. No emergency surgery, nothing like that. They just need to, they just got a little something to spice it up a little bit. And I'm curious of what direction they can take for that. They could do a lot of things. They can hit gravy a little bit. They could hit Syndra, maybe a Wrath of Retribution is my best guess. And or you could do like a brand with Cinder Claw to kind of like make the risk reward a little bit higher, kind of take a jab at the consistency a little bit. Or you could hit the ceiling with Wrath of Retribution. And then maybe, Verdance gets hit with something. I don't know. That's kind of like the three things that I think would be on the table. Um, so that's like the lowest hanging fruit in my opinion. Could be totally wrong, but that's kind of where my mindset is. Once again, we're not looking for drastic changes, just enough to spice things up a little bit, right? We also have the slippy deck around the corner. I don't think that it's gonna change like the landscape for Assassin, I don't think it's gonna be that type of impact. I think it's gonna make a huge impact into Silver Age as a format. But as far as, like, holistically for CC, probably it's not gonna shake everything up, right? Um, do you think Mario is going to get any better with the Armory deck? Yeah, he gets some improvements, but I'll be honest with you, I think what the Armory deck does is makes Mario very playable in Silver Age. I think that, um, is kind of I think that's the angle that they're gonna take with that product, in my opinion. Display loyalty, brand ban, in my opinion, brand hits Fi a smidge too, and that could be entirely possible, right? That could be the read. I just know that those are the heroes that would be in question if you were going to ban something. But once again, like Chad mentioned, unbanning something could give you the same result. And maybe that's the angle that we take. I have no idea. I'm just saying chances are they're going to shake things up and probably for the good. Give some people the opportunity to surprise the meta and come up with something cool. So that's really all the yapping that I had. So we are just going to basically hop right in to the deck tech. Now we're gonna yap just a little bit longer about how we came up with this deck. Okay. And to be honest with you, what I built was actually a CC deck. Yes, a CC deck being played in Silver Age that I registered at exactly one event. And the event was a 5 or 10K. I forget which one it was, but it was in Columbus, Ohio. And I think it was a realm event. It was like the event, the first like big event that qualified you for the 20K or whatever it was they did. Um, back when Icelander was really kicking off, kind of like after the first world championship, that kind of thing. And I needed to find a deck that actually, I think this was actually right before Bullander. Maybe. I think it was. I think it was right before Bullander, but when Iceland, I don't remember exactly where it was in the timeline. But anyway, I took this deck to this event. Okay. And the reason I brought it was it played around Frostbite really, really well by playing a higher density of blues and having a little bit different of a cost curve. Okay. And so what we're doing is we are shifting that mentality to Silver Age, and we can almost play legit almost every single card I registered in CC in Silver Age. Almost the whole deck. I think the only person who has actually seen this list that was not at that event that like saw the list in detail is Sam Dando. Because I we sat down next to each other when we were registering our list for that event. I showed it to him. He's like, "Bro, there's no way. There's no way." And so what we did, Silver Age is interesting, especially for Briar in the current landscape, because basically, in my opinion, most of your cards are dog shit, with the exception of Entwine Lightning, Snatch, and Rabble. Like everything else is like kind of mid, right? Like it does some cool stuff. It's a 0 for 4, but it's like a 0 for 4 that can kind of just like brick, right? Like if you draw too many attacks, you draw too many non-attack, whatever the case may be. Okay. So what we're doing is we are completely reimagining what Briar is. Okay. And I know these are big words, but I'm going to deliver on it in exactly like 5 minutes. Maybe not even, I might show it in three. I might show it in three. Okay. But I know a lot of people are going straight for the 3 for 7 that we came up with for the Goliath Gauntlet way back in the day, before she ever LL'd. That is not the angle we're taking. We're not doing 3 for 7 value. It's not what we're doing. Well, we kind of are, but imagine if that deck had a gas pedal, okay? And if you hit it, it went. Okay, it went somewhere. Imagine that. Okay. And it's basically the best of both worlds. If you like the beefy Briar deck and you like the Cheerio Briar deck, I'm telling you, it is the perfect, and I mean perfect combination of those two decks. But the question ultimately renders, How the fuck do you do that? How do you build in cheap cards, expensive cards, and all of those things? And we'll chat. I'm going to show you right now what we did for Silver Age with Briar. And you're going to see this, okay? And you're going to be like, what the fuck is he doing? Okay. But just hear me out, chat. Okay. Give me a second. Let me cook. Okay. Let me cook. Okay. This is the Briar deck. Okay. Now, from a ratio perspective, I'm going to toot my own horn a little bit here, and I'm going to let you know this is a ratio. Like, the levels of perfection in the ratios are absolutely insane. Okay. Like, absolutely wild. Okay. So, what we're doing with the issue that I found with Briar in Silver Age is we have the issue to where you basically don't want to run any blues. Okay. That makes you very susceptible to ice. They play Arctic Incarceration. You pass, game over, right? Like you're extremely vulnerable. Also, you need like this perfect combination of non-attack actions, attack actions, and all of those things. And some of that it still has that essence in this list. I'm not gonna mislead you anywhere and tell you that it's perfect and it doesn't have any of those issues. It does have some of those, right? You're playing Runeblade, right? You can't ever escape that truly. But the hand scales, whether you have 2 cards, 3 cards, 4 cards, and hell, even 5 cards, you are naturally immune to fatigue. It's not even a concern of yours in the main 40 because you run my favorite card in Flesh and Blood, and that is Rites of Replenishment. Okay. And you actually have the strong, and I mean, so there's people that like think Evergreen is the solution, right? No, let me teach you something, chat. If you think Evergreen is good, check this out. Okay. Read this card real quick. This card says +3 next attack, and read it with me, chat, really closely. When you attack with this, deal 1 arcane damage to target hero, chat. Hero. Now you might be asking me the question, why the fuck would you want to deal yourself arcane? Because that's obviously where I'm getting at. Well, with Rites of Replenishment, you get the opportunity to deal yourself the arcane damage guaranteed if they're running AB in the event of a loop, and you can actually loop Bramble Spark and Rites together in the same package and continue the loop by dealing yourself the damage, which allows you to actually deal 9 damage reoccurring versus the normal 7 with Evergreen. And you pay 0 opportunity cost because this card actively does what your deck is trying to do, and it blocks 3. So that's why we're leveraging this card versus Evergreen in the event of fatigue. But fatigue is probably not going to be an issue. I'm just saying you have that line open to you in the event that you need it. Okay. So, chat, the ultimate question here is what the fuck are we doing with this list? Well, the idea is we're taking the exact same premise for Briar, right? Non attack, attack, thorn, right? But historically, you've pitched to make a rune chant and then swinging thorn. Well, obviously, we're playing Reaping Blade because we're on the budget version with Silver Age, and we can't play thorn. So what we're doing is instead of making a rune chant with grass because that's not an option, then what we're ultimately trying to do, because ultimately this is one of the best cards in Silver Age. The problem is the earth that you would need to support it is ass, right? Okay, everybody can kind of come to that conclusion. But let me ask you the question. This card, absolutely insane. Okay, chat, this is just a 2 for 8. A 2 for 8, okay? Now you might be saying, "Oh, well, who gives a shit? You can play Wounding Bull." And you would be correct. However, can you swing a weapon after wounded? Like, can you? No, you can't, right? But this, you get to go 0 cost non-attack, 0 cost non-attack, entwine, fuse, swing weapon. because every attack in the deck except for the one Autumn's Touch, which is just for ratio purposes, costs 2, right? And so the whole curve is built to 2 cost attack with the one floating to swing, guess what? Your weapon. Okay. What's the other relevant point? If you notice the ratios as far as the resource curve, it's kind of all over the place. We're almost approaching this tribal territory of almost, 13, 13, 13, close to it. If you choke on a blue and you don't draw one, the deck works perfectly fine on a yellow. You get the opportunity to just swing an earth card, pitching a yellow fuse, 2 for 8. You arsenal that earth non-attack action and you go about your day, right? This is the other part of the all-star combination, right? I just want and this is the whole reason why we run this rinky dink ass arm piece, which is absolutely insane. Okay. Because we get the opportunity to play a 2 card 9 chat, a 2 card 9 that still lets us swing our weapon afterwards. Okay. Non attack action, you know, pop your arm piece, make a rune chant, swing this 9 value. Oh, they're going to AB. Congrats. They got literally, you got a whole card for your arm piece. You'll take that, right? And you're still doing a 2 card 7, right? Plus whatever was buffed with the non-attacks, right? Guess what? 0 for 4 because we're always fusing. 0 for 4 because we're always fusing. 0 for 4 because we're always fusing. Oh, and guess what? You're maybe you're a little worried about not having 2 non-attacks, right? Maybe you want a little bit of like shrinkage on the hand so that way you can like block a little bit and get a little bit more space. Well, guess what? We have that too. Weave Lightning says the next elemental attack action card you play this turn, if you fuse it, gains go again. These are all elemental attacks, chat. Every single one of them. So you can literally just play Weave Lightning, pitch a blue, play your 2 cost, fuse it, go again. You don't need Briar's hero ability. You do not need it. Now, there's also some cheeky lines where you have the ability to, but you don't, right? So what you can actually do is you can play Weave Lightning, pitch your blue card, play an Entwine Earth, and then you can fuse an Arcane Seeds or something like that. And then you have the ability to play the Arcane Seeds after the Entwine Earth, make your embodiment, swing your weapon, and then you have it for the next turn. And then you have the exact same line open to you, but you no longer need the Weave Lightning, right? So there's so many different lines. Flourish, 0 for 3 pump, that's Earth, right? There's some not so great blues in your blue base, and that's fine. That's flesh and blood, right? That's the game that we're playing, but we're also in a lower power format. And that's kind of the idea that we're, that's what we're cooking with, chat, okay? And you also have access to, in my opinion, the main reason that you want to be running D-Reacts in this format are 2 decks. Anything that runs Pummel and then also Azalea, right? Well, guess what? We have access and one of the only ability to run one of the absolute best cards to do that. And that is Summerwood Shelter. Absolutely insane. +4 instant. Don't give a shit about dominate, right? None of it matters. Confidence, who gives a shit? Does not matter. Nobody is cheesing this deck, okay? Confidence, don't care. Does not matter. We got it, okay? The deck, okay. The 40 card main deck answered so many problems that I literally did not know what to do with the inventory or the sideboard. So this I would run. I would run this against confidence. I would run this and this into Azalea. And then like I don't even know if you need null rune. I just threw it in there. I literally don't know what I need because all the questions are answered. This could literally be, maybe you need a little bit of armor in certain matchups, so you run the Blade Beckoner headpiece or something like that. Um, another question that a lot of people might have is why Blossom of Spring, and that's a very valid question. One, if you ever brick on a blue and you're actually trying to leverage the go again, you can get 3 value from this with a sword swing. That's example one. Remember, our cost curve are 2 cost attacks, right? However, what if you're in that situation where you really just need to push some damage, chat? Like, you're in the you're trading back and forth. You're like, man, if I just had a little bit more, and that sword swing just isn't enough. Well, guess what? After you throw your 2 for whatever, and it has go again, how much do you have floating, chat? 1. If you gain 1 from Blossom of Spring, what can you throw after it? You know where I'm getting at, chat. Another 2 for 8. Oh my God. I'm telling you, chat. It it's actually insane. It is actually just wild. Okay. So that's the idea. Okay. And we're also playing I'm not completely sold on this card yet. It's just an idea. I'm trying to get behind the math of like what actually makes more sense as far as, because the deck doesn't really brick that much. Like the ratios, I'm telling you, they're chef's kiss. I'm telling you. You got almost half the deck Earth. You got exactly half the deck as Elemental. You have the good old 17-23 split favoring non-attacks because we're Rune Blades, right? I mean, it's got it all. Fuse, you got 18 fuses and 20 fuse targets. I'm telling you, the ratios, they're good. I'm telling you. Telling you. It's where it's at. I'm telling you. Okay. So this is what we're cooking with. Okay. But it's not enough for me to just talk to it. I gotta show you. So we're gonna play some games. That's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna get caught up in chat because I know I kind of just zoomed in on the deck. I wanted to explain all the reasoning behind the cards. So I'm gonna get caught up in chat really quickly, and then we're gonna kind of go from there. Um, please tell me we're playing Emissary of the Tide. No, we're not. We're not off that far off. Dude. I love this deck. Yeah, it's a little bit of a spicy one. Okay. What's up, Dalton? Good to see you. What is up? All right, we got the We Make Best seal of approval. So format broken, done, easy. Earthlore Surge. So naturally, it's a great minds think alike. We tried it. It doesn't fit the curve is the problem. Because it that's actually, to be honest with you, I liked that idea so much. That's actually where the Blossom of Spring tech actually was derived from. I ran one red Earthlore, and it was for the sole reason of when I drew it, I would just yeet that bitch with Blossom of Spring. Because if you pitch a blue, you'd need the fourth resource, so I would Blossom of Spring it, right? So you know, that was actually the idea. And it just I found myself in spots to where I would rather just use the Blossom of Spring to double fuse and attack with 2 Entwine Earths or 2 Stirs or whatever the case may be. And there's so many different lines. Like the deck looks simple. You're like, oh, 2 cost, swings weapon. But like there's so many lines where it's like you can produce the arcane damage with the Bramble Spark and put it on the Entwine Earth. And then because you have the go again, you can then pop Blossom of Spring and then throw the Stir after they've taken the arcane damage. I mean, just some wild, ridiculous shit. Okay. And it actually gets a little bit deep, right? I mean, and everybody hates losing against fatigue. You literally cannot lose against fatigue. It is impossible. I guess if you ate your cards, you might could lose. But if you don't do that, if you can resist chewing on them, I think you get there every time. So someone's cooking here. I mean, we're trying a little bit. We're trying. 2 cost tax. Yep. Is there a consideration for Sirens of the Safe Harbor? So I tried to branch out a little bit and kind of open the idea of kind of experimenting with other things. But the problem with using generic, arguably better two cost attacks is none of your non attacks that actually provide a lot of value apply to them, right? Like if you couldn't play Invigorate, what pump would you use? Come to Fight doesn't fit the curve, right? Weave Earth only applies to Earth and elemental attacks, not sirens, not generics, right? Same thing for Weave. Flourish would apply because it says next time an attack would gain, but you have to like pump it some other way, right? So like right off the bat, your Weave Earth is probably your best because it's the most fluid, and it's a fused target as well. Um, your best pumps are basically derived, or they require you to play earth or elemental attacks. And all the earth attacks just suck. Okay. Um I mean, just it's just what it is. Um and another thing that we did, I know somebody's gonna bring it up. Somebody's gonna say, what about decompose? All right, chat. Look, I'm gonna level with you here, chat. Okay. I went down that road and I want to save you the trouble. Okay. It's a dark road. Okay. And I know you're looking at those earth boots and you're like, man, those block too. And I'm telling you, it will ruin this fucking deck if you try it. Okay. The decompose just does not work. Okay. And the reason is all the decompose attack actions, either the ones that attack for two that would apply in this situation, they suck ass. Okay. What's the blossoming one that gains a life? 2 for 5. Get the fuck out of here. Right. Like we don't want it. Okay. Our blues are doing 2 card 6s are blues, okay? And so we don't want it, okay? Your other option is to go to the 3 costs like tilling. I'm telling you, chat, we have literally tried it, okay? We have tried it. Um, it costs 3. I would rather have the 2 costs and swing with a weapon afterwards, or just block my hand down, right? And we also tried a little bit of cheeky stuff, right? With burn up. Oh, and the embodiment management of this deck, this is another thing that I did not mention that is absolutely huge. There's so many times where like you're playing against a whatever deck and because you only have like one attack action and maybe like a not a lot of pump behind it and you're like swinging your weapon afterwards, they can keep you off an embodiment kind of easily, right? With maybe a little bit of armor and a couple cards, like they can keep you off. This deck, you get an embodiment every fucking turn, or they're not attacking you. That's simple. What if I bramble this Entwine Earth for 11? Okay, you block that. Congrats. You got me, man. No embodiment, but you're not throwing shit at me. So it doesn't matter. Okay. You're always getting an embodiment. It's literally, and I just want to give you a couple of examples, right? Let's go middle of the road. Let's look at the average rate of a yellow line. Okay. Literally just a yellow. This yellow, which is just bread and butter, right? Same thing for Bramble Spark. It's the same math. It's 3 value, 1 arcane +2, or just +3. Okay. If we get +3, we're gonna say we play 2 of them. So that's 6. Then we play just yellow and Twine Earth, the most average card in the deck, right? Comes in for 7. We're at a current 4 card 13, right? But guess what? We have go again and 1 floating. So it becomes a 4 card 16, which means, guess what? We achieved our ultimate goal of, to be honest, almost CC levels of getting 4 value per card. And I want to remind you, we just used the example for yellow cards, not red cards. Okay, you do the same math on the red. This is 4. So that's 8 for 2 of them. You now have the embodiment of lightning. You play an 8. So now you're at 16 before the sword swing. And now you're at 19 on a 4 card hand. Technically 5, but you get to hold it back. You have to fuse something. But I'm just saying. I'm just saying. The math is there, chat. The math is there. And get caught up. Sold as soon as I saw Bramble and Invigorate. I'm telling you. Is there consider are we swinging so heavy that it doesn't matter? It does not matter. I think you're explaining it right now. Seen a lot of people on some Spell Fray and Arcane Polarity. Let them. Let them. We don't care. Because with the stirs, guess what? We're not just relying on release. That's not the goal. We got Brambles. We got Arcane Seeds. Bring the Spell Fray. Does not matter. Because also, the way to look at that equation is we're gaining a value every time we, every time they activate it, right? And you might be saying, how are you coming to that math? Well, we're swinging the weapon a lot in our games, typically, right? If the draw sequence supports it. If they have Blade Beckoner equipment, a lot of the times throughout the game, they get two value every single time, right? So if they would have Blade Beckoner equipment instead of Spellfray, they'd be blocking two anyway. Whereas now they're just blocking one. Now, granted, you don't get the buff from Stir. I get that. But it kind of just evens out because they're losing value on that. Because you don't have any like on hits that actually matter. It's literally just embodiment. That's all that's happening here. Um, do we have a link? A link will be posted after the stream in the Discord. The channel is called Livestream Decklist, I believe. And then link to the Discord is should be in the description. Broken S tier, nukes dropped. I'm telling you, we make best knows. This is hype. Can't wait for the gameplay. We're about to hop right into it as soon as we get caught up in chat. You're a yeet that line crack my wife up and she barely plays fab. I mean, sometimes you gotta yeet and delete it. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Wave lightning, earth, invigorate, flourish all basically are turned off right away the second you go generic. That is correct. That is correct. I honestly could see Summer's Fall as a sideboard option for Chain. Yes, that is once again. I want to preface that the only thing that's incomplete with it, do not touch the 40. Okay, the 40 is good. I promise you, it's there. And then like these, don't touch these. But all these other cards, fuck them up, swap them out, do what you think. More than possible. And to be honest, because Summer's Fall is a 2 for 6, like there's decent value there. Maybe there's a situation where we can like work it in. Maybe we replace the Autumn's Touch, something like that. I don't know. Because it is an Earth card, and that's like the #1 ratio that we have to maintain in this deck. Because once again, we're trying to fuse every single turn. Drawing an Earth card is very, very important. That's why we run 20 Earth cards. As shitty as people think they are, boy, are we going to change their minds? Okay. I've tried a decomp list, doesn't work. Yeah, it only makes things worse. It only oh, it doesn't. I tried so hard because I wanted to play the helmet and the boots and all, and it just doesn't. Is it just better than So Tomorrow? Well, that's an interesting point, right? Because the way that you have to look at it, okay? One thing that once we start playing the deck, you'll quickly realize is the card that you fuse with has to be playable to some extent, right? It has to be playable. So the earth cards are very important to be flexible. That's the most important thing. Okay. That's why we're running cards like Flourish, Fruits, things like that. So Tomorrow is it's a very flexible card. It's one of the most flexible cards, right? Because we get to fuse with it. And what would normally be a shitty blue earth attack, like you're suggesting, we get to park it in Arsenal. We get to play it. It gets half an embodiment. We draw a card to replace it. So the resource is quote unquote free. But it also opens the lines of, we get to make like the double fuse attack line now for free because we don't have to activate Blossom of Spring and we're halfway there with the non attack. So Tomorrow, as shitty as it looks, is actually pretty fucking decent. And guess what? Like chat mentioned, with an embodiment, blocks 3. Therefore, de facto, it is just the best option that is currently available. I would literally play this card over Blue Autumn's Touch, obviously, because we're only at one Blue Autumn's Touch. And to be honest, that's the weakest card in the deck. If you're cutting anything, it's Blue Autumn's Touch. Um, because it's the only blue card that fuses that doesn't have a lot of utility with it. And we've been trying some ideas. Like I just could not find something that I really really liked. But I'll probably end up skimming the Earth cards a couple more times. Like it's got to fit the. It needs to be an attack because we're a little bit lower on attacks, and then so if you go Earth attack, you're automatically in 2 block range. So you start asking yourself, would you rather have a 2 cost attack that blocks 2 or a 3 cost attack that blocks 3? And because it's blue, I prefer the block is the mentality. So, although believe it or not, this card was once banned and we're only playing one. No, I'm just kidding. For completely different reasons, but why no cadaverous tilling red? Well, it was in the maybe board. We did try it, but once again, decomposition does not work. It doesn't fit the curve. We're trying to throw 2 cost attacks and then follow with a sword swing, not play 3 cost attacks. And it blocks 2. So one thing that you'll also notice is the block deck or the block value of this deck is actually very, very good because basically all your non-attacks are going to block 3. A couple of them block 4, but nothing crazy. But a normal Briar list where I think most attacks block literally 2. All your snatches and your scars and your rabbles and all of that. Yes, we have some. We have entwine and we have fruits. But all of our stirs and our rights, they block 3. We get a little bit of flexibility, a little bit higher block value. Not a whole lot more, but just a little bit more, right? And enjoy your S tier for 2 more weeks. We'll see. We'll see. Um, it's only up from here. It's only up from here. Yellow fruits is an interesting idea, but we really needed the blue. Was the idea? You're starting to see you're starting to pick up what I'm putting down, but we need the blue ratio because once again we can operate on a yellow, but we don't want to. We want that extra resource to swing the weapon. So enough chat. Let's get to work. Let's get to work. We're gonna go ahead and do it. All right. Do. We're gonna go play against a Fi. Fi coming off the rip. Probably would rather have the armor over Blossom. Once again, we're experimenting with this. But we're just gonna roll it as is. See what happens. Yeah, you could definitely run Blood Torn for Azalea, 100%. But this deck already beats Azalea. We're not worried about it. We're not worried about it in the least bit. Literally not worried about it. Okay, we're gonna count our ratios. So we drew 3 attack actions, which puts us at we started at a -3 split, and now we're at a -5, which is not the best, but we'll make it work. We're gonna keep the 2 synergistic pieces till until the very end. Da, 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 da. I am a little worried about drawing an attack because we're at -5 on the card counting ratio. This is an interesting spot on whether we actually block here or not. There is the one card, but we get him to come off an arsenal anyway if he does decide to play it. So I actually just like the block. Giga punished. I mean, Well, actually, we couldn't block it fucking anyway, so it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. But yes, we are officially behind. We are officially behind. Unless he just wait, didn't he rip a dog shit blue? What did he flip? A blue brand? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about no blue brand. I mean, it's not ideal, don't get me wrong, but, like, if he was gonna draw anything, like, we'll take it. We'll take it. Okay, so let's see what we're working with. Alright, let's see what we can cook up. So we definitely need to fuse. So the most flexible card here is for sure, or the only card that we can fuse with is here. So we're automatically playing Invigorate and probably Entwine Earth, and then fusing, then setting the Weave Earth blue into Arsenal. We could take a more greedy line and try to do something else, but we're just not trying to get that fancy with it. So we're just going to keep it really simple and just try to take advantage of a little bit of tempo. But basically, this is leveraging 3 cards to do 11 damage. Seems pretty decent, right? Like, I don't know, 3 card 11. Yeah. And we little Arsenal little card, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, chat? Immediately jams the armor. Love it. Now, the next hand is very important, and that's kind of why we might be on the Hope Merchants kind of action. See, this could have been really, really bad. Um, so in this situation, I think we have to. God, thank God for Hope Merchants, and we have to do it now because we have to figure out what we're actually working with before we do our block down priority, right? So, I think we definitely pop it. And the question is, how greedy do we want to be on keeping like the highest priority card, right? And to be honest, the highest priority card, believe it or not, is actually the blue flourish because it fuses and it's a resource card. Um, Weave Lightning seems like it may be the most, but because we already have the non-attack action laid down, we're probably not going to need the go again value, right? So the most valuable card is actually the blue flourish. The choice is ultimately, do we want to keep that or do we want to throw it back in the bin? It, it's close. It's close, but um, because we're so low on attacks, I'm pretty confident we're going to be able to rip an Earth card. So I'm going to send it all back. Okay. So the world just wanted us to have a Weave Lightning, which is fine. And I know a lot of people are probably like, man, this hand sucks. And it's not the best, but let's count the value, right? We got a 2, we got a 5, or a 3, which is 5. Um, and then we can stir, fuse the fruits, right? And then swing sword. And we can obviously pop the the arm piece to deal the arcane, which is guaranteed. So this will come in for 7 plus the 5 is 12, and then we'll swing weapon, which is 15, and then we discard fruits, which is 17. Fair value on a almost full blue hand. Uh yeah, no, not disappointed in the least bit. How's this deck into Betsy though? We'll see. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. But you want to think like when you're making your cycling decisions or what to keep or those type of decisions, you want to think about what leaves you out to dry the least. And that's why in that previous hand, actually the best card was Blue Flourish. But we had been through so many non-earth cards. I mean, every one of these are not earth, right? So we have one, two, three, four, five, six. That literally means that 20 out of 34 cards were earth. Like, we had to draw one, and we barely did, but, I mean, we just had to, right? Mathematics. Uh, yeah, this has no on hit. We're not really interested in blocking right now. We're going cash in the boots. Do, 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 do. Yep, the one damage. He's got one more damage in arsenal, so not putting pressure on the hand yet, but getting close. And once again, if next hand we're probably gonna have to block, he's gonna have to give a card. Um, and depending on how bad his blocks are, he might have to give a couple more. Costs one less. Okay, that's pretty fucking good. I'm not gonna lie. Um, damn, that's like actually fucking good. And then you have the one, so that way the Phoenix Flame gets. Damn, that snatch got me. That snatch got me. Faya's looking kind of cute. I'm gonna be honest with you, chat. I did not know what that card did before that. I did not. But 0 for 5, block 3, kind of good. Kind of good. But first turn, we played a yellow and a red, and now we're playing a bunch of blues. And we're close to keeping things on par. Not quite. He's probably just gonna hold the. That's pretty smart. I respect it. So we're gonna do our thing because we have to. And we're gonna fuse. And this is gonna come in for a little bit. Exactly a little bit. Oh, just lethal. Um, which gets a couple blocks. We have weapon coming afterwards again. So we'll get more blocks. And our life total is gonna go a little bit higher. We get the embodiment. You see where we're going, chat? You see? Oh no, he had the one left on the blade beckoners. That's unfortunate. It may cost us the game. Maybe if we had like a red in there instead of just a lot of blues, maybe we could have got there. We're not out of it yet. We still have 4. We just have to be able to keep 2 cards and throw a decent amount of damage. And we'll see what. Oh my God, Reaping Blade. Oh no. Oh, we're dead on this hand anyway. Um, we're gonna be an undoer. That was just dumb. Like, there's no way. There's no way we don't do that. I completely forgot. You need a first. You're right. Oh, that's funny. I was in the don't spill the beans, but I forgot I fused. There's no secret. Yeah. Wait, no, 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 no. We forgot to we're fucking this up. We are actually fucking this up. Like left and right. And then we throw this. And then we fuse. And then we play it before they take a bajillion damage. Just go and rip it now. That way we actually get it. But Nathan the Undo Crawford. See, it would be the appropriate title. It would be the appropriate one. So Blossom of Spring, maybe that's the answer to the equation, right? Maybe the, you know, maybe we have to keep the because the question is in a very short game like this, we knew this was going to be a very short game. What's the chances that we actually go long enough to where I can see that scenario play out? And it's probably a little unlikely, right? What's +2 crouch? Okay, so it's Just a free 2 damage, basically. That's pretty fun good. La, 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 la. We have to let's see. Can we save our blocks? I mean we can take this. It's not ideal, but we can. This gives a resource. He's gonna have Phoenix Flame for 1. So we have to block this, right? I think we just have to. Which is okay. We have a 2 for 6. To be honest, though, what's probably going to end up happening is we're going to have to block down. We're going to have to pop Spring and Swing Blade. Um, but if he doesn't have a 3 block, then we get 2 cards and maybe we're in somewhere. Um, doo-doo. Okay, we officially have to give up the attack. Well, maybe we should have known that. And we should have blocked 2 on 2. Maybe that was a little inefficient on my end. Um, so now I think we're just dead because the Crouching Tiger comes in for 2, right? Um, so we could have lived at 1. Oh no, what am I thinking? Okay, we're still alive. Right? There's no playable tiger. Okay. Ignore me, chat. So Blossom of Spring looking kind of gas right now. If he doesn't have a 3 block and we get to pop this, go Trey. If he doesn't have a 3 block here, chat, we might be in this after eating a snatch. Don't block 1 card, please. Ah, shit. Ah, shit. We need that last fruits. Where's that last fruits? We need it. We need the fruits. We ain't got the fruits. He could not have a star. Oh, he pitched a red. Oh. Oh. There's a chance. Is it just 0 for 3 after? Please don't be a 0 for 4. That'd be extremely rude. Okay. We just need him not to have a 3 block again. We're gaining tempo little by little. Little by little. Just don't draw a 3 block. And if I get 2 cards, we good. Because the second, oh, fuck, quit doing it, man. Oh, that would have hurt with the fealty. Oh my God. Oh, it would have been bad. Oh, this hand don't block. Oh, we in trouble. Yeah, you got it. You got it. So that's kind of the idea, chat. I wish we could have drawn a couple more reds instead of a bunch of blues, but you know, it do be like that. Not the YouTube thing. We're gonna go here, get the actual link. But yeah, that's kind of the idea of the deck and how you can almost win a game with just blues. um, all this busted gear to not be chain. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Just a free 2 damage from his armor plus, yeah. Yep. And see Azalea, oh my god, like free. Right. I'd like to have a little bit more armor. Don't get me wrong, but like, bro, these cards, oh my god, bro. Oh my god. It's unfair is what it is. Okay? It is legitimately unfair. Okay, we're not looking for pumps. We just want to live. It's all we want to do. And so that's what we're going to do. Okay. So what's the easiest way to live here? Has AB. So definitely we don't want them to pitch. Um, so I think we're actually just gonna yeet as much damage as possible and just arsenal and attack that we can just throw on our turn. And when I say free, I might be exaggerating a little bit, but you know, we're just throwing a casual 8, getting embodiment or a fuck ton of cards. Happy with either. And then we're just gonna arsenal a card and see what happens. See what happens, you know? This hand don't block shit. It don't do shit either. This might be one we swap out. Depending on what they throw. We'll see. Yo, Mr. Crawford, can I send you this OP Lexi? I mean, Jason, you can send me whatever you want. I'm all eyes. Oh my God, he passed. Holy shit. Okay. Um, we are gonna greed lord the shit out of this. We sending it all back, and we're going in. We're sending it. Oh my God. Oh, we're about to light him up. Oh my God. This is actually fucked, is what this is. Um, this is illegal in about 13 states, what I just did to this. I mean, he's just dead. He is actually just dead. He is literally dead. Oh my God. This is just disrespectful, bro. Oh my God. We just pinging him down. Hope Merchant's Hood, chat, changed my life. Changed my life. Oh my God. That's too good. He bricked and we push 18, 19 damage. My bad. With no equipment. Yeah, you better block. Yeah, you better block. Just open stream. What am I looking at? What you're looking at is the final evolution of the Sage format. That's what you're looking at. And we're gonna greed lord the shit out of this. Okay. He didn't want to block, he just ate all of that. So we're actually gonna pop the arm piece and swing blade to get a card, or yeah, we can't even give chest piece. So we getting something. We could give the armor, but that's fine. Maybe that's actually troll. We shouldn't have done that, but we're okay. We're okay. But that was definitely troll. We should not have done that. And who says chain is the best? Get him, man. I'm telling you, bro. This shit is gas. Okay, so the hand blocks because we have an embodiment. Game plan number one accomplished. Okay. But yeah, this is the way to do it. Call in the big guns. Okay, I was gonna fatigue him, but I think the answer there was to just kill him. Okay. So, you know, just tuned in and I see a yellow weave earth. Yes, and it's an amazing card. That's what's happening. Just for anybody that's just now tuning in, because we've seen that comment twice in a row now. This is the list that we're working with. It's a very untraditional Briar list that basically runs on a blue 2 cost elemental attack, where you have a bunch of 0 cost pumps that apply. You have Invigorate that's a 0 for 4, you have Bramble that's 0 for 4, you have Weave Lightning, which says elemental attack action card gains go again if used. And then you have the stir combo with the arm piece, and of course the bramble sparks and the arcane seeds. And we're basically playing pump, pump, 2 cost weapon swing. So same thing as traditional Briar, but we're consolidating it into less cards, which makes the deck a little bit more flexible and allows for it, if you get put in those positions where you got to block a little bit, because on hits or whatever the case may be, you can block down and just throw a 2 for 8, right? You can just pitch a blue or a yellow if you want to keep the threat density. Fuse a card, here's 8, right? You have those possibilities. Or just depending on what the card is. You can even throw a 2 card 9 if you want to pop um your um your arm piece. Like that's kind of the idea. But yeah, it's kind of what we're working with right now. And I think it's actually I think it's actually kind of good, to be honest with you. I've enjoyed it so much. Um oh, they want to smoke again. They want it again. Oh my god. I don't want to do it to them. But that is kind of the idea. Oh shit, he is reloading, chat. Now we're gonna go to our game plan of like not just killing him out of nowhere. We're actually gonna, you know, we're gonna show that the deck can also fatigue Azalea. Uh, well, that's convenient. Sure. We do not want them to reload here. That would be ever so slightly inconvenient. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna block here, and we're just gonna give it all. Right? There's no reason not to. I really wanted to gain life on my turn, but we'll settle. Then we start with a little bit of tempo, get an embodiment. We'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. If I can fuse with a Summerwood Shelter and put that bitch in Arsenal, we are off to the races. Off to the races. Today I learned Hope Merchant's Hood is actually doesn't have a gold foil. I had no idea. I had no idea. Okay. So here is very easy turn. Nothing crazy. We're basically just going to go ahead and leverage the we could get a little greedy with some shenanigans, but we're not going to do all that. Or do we actually? Because we are like fatiguing this time. Do we? Do we send these two back? They're just pitch cards. Yeah, fuck it. Let's do it. Because no matter what, we have a fuse card. We have the attack we're trying to throw because we already popped arms. So we just send those back. Um, and it changed. I mean, that's a way better Arsenal target. Don't get me wrong. We'll take it. We'll take it. Bro, Oat Merchant's Hood is just goaded. Okay. It is just goaded. Now, here we actually have a couple. No, we don't have a couple options. We are doing one play and one play alone. We're going to fuse this and just come in hot for 9 or 7 if he really wants to give us a whole card for AB1, which we are more than happy with, right? Because so this is still a 2 card 10 because he gave us a whole card. So no matter what, more than happy with this trade. We'll take it. We can still get an embodiment. Like we got it. We got it. How does he not pop hat there? We did it. Okay. I was trying to be conservative, but you're right. You're right. We had tempo. We should have just ripped it. Okay. Doo-doo. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, he's hitting back. Okay. So we definitely want to block this on hit. We do kind of care about it. And so we'll just do it like this. Keep it easy. Keep it easy. We're gonna throw back a little bit of damage. We're gonna mid-range the shit out of it. Azalea player with no arrows in his deck again. He may have. I mean, he's definitely got him now. He brought arrows with him. Okay, he might have left his quiver at home last time. Not you. Opponent had 2 pumps, could dominate for like 10. I mean, that's a good point. Yeah. Just throw the 6, try to maintain the embodiment. We have to have the block value. Gotta have the block value. And then a lot of our 2 block attacks are blue, or at least can be resources to go into the immovable, which provides a little bit of shelter. You see what I did there? Some word shelter from any kind of bigger arrow attack that he has. But Silver Age overall, the point of this deck is I'm telling you, I built this deck back at the end of October, right when they announced the Silver Age format, because I told myself, this hand, bro, I'm telling you, this deck does everything. Okay. It just does it all. I'm telling you. This block's what? 3/3, 3/9, 4. Do we lose the arsenal here? Oh, and it's 2 blood rot pox. Okay, so what's the move here? We go here. If we had a blue, we're good. But we don't. So if we go here, that's 8. That takes us to 11 and 4. So that's the play. And we don't get the blood rot pox. The hand does block, and that's exactly what we're doing. We still got it. We still got it. We're gonna unmovable from Arsenal for 8, takes up to 11, and then shelter the Weave Earth to get exactly 15 on the hand. Ideally, we would do it without using every card and holding a little bit back. But what can you do? What can you do? So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go yeet to do, and then go here for exactly perfect. And then we avoid so much damage. And now I'm perfectly okay with coming off of an arsenal or an embodiment. Does not matter. And now we can literally block 7, gain some life. We can block 9, gain some life. Like we're fine. If we can get this in the arsenal, that's best case scenario. I would love to like be able to throw stir and fuse it with a shelter. Fusing with shelter in these defensive matchups is it's just broken, to be honest with you. Absolutely absurd that you get like offensive value from actually fusing it, and then you also just put the bitch down on defense. Easy. There is a 15 block from red shelter and pitch both to yeah, we did it. We got there. We got there. I can see the line sometimes. You're right. You're right. Sometimes. Does he have to dominate? Better question. Ooh, 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 ooh. That's the worst thing that could have happened. Because now we get to gain life, throw an attack, get an embodiment, and Arsenal Summerwood Chill. Oh, wait, no. No! Reaping blade, no. We got baited twice. Twice, but that's okay. That's okay. I think we'll be okay, chat. I think we'll be okay. We got a couple 4 blocks, you know what I'm saying, chat? You know what I'm saying? We got us a couple 4 blocks. Frailty token, what you know? What you know? All the inertia. We might have to take some damage here. Oh, we're not gonna take some damage here, chat. So we can cover this up. We can go 4 4 4. That's 12. Yeah, we can exactly cover this up. The question is, chat, do we want to? What if we went to 3 here? What if we did that? What if we went arcane seeds? Oh yeah, he has no fucking. Oh no, he does have ABA. I was like, oh my god, the arms are gone, but he has the boots. Damn it, that means we gotta be conservative. Just a casual 17 block. This list looks really good against an Azalea deck that cannot function. Yes, that's the streamer staple, right? You make a deck and then you pit it against unfunctional deck, and everything looks like gold. Okay, everything. Um, so now we ask him to do it again. If he can't, then we do a little something, something. Literally paid actor. That's funny. Oh god. I don't know if it's a hot take, but people's consensus about Sage is very harsh considering set made to support is on the way. This is basically the beta test for the format. Yeah, I haven't heard that. I mean, the only criticism that I've actually heard that like makes any sense is that it's slow. And it is, right? We're not fooling anybody. It's a slow format. I think that's a fair, um thing to say. I'm actually gonna 19 versus 18, but we have a weapon, so we're huh. I don't want to let this hit. It feels wrong. I'm gonna block with everything that does not block 3. Keep the 3 block in the deck, swing blade. Swing blade, call it a day. To be fair, every other turn he does play an arrow. Better than the last game. That's true. I think it's so okay. In a time situation, yes, it is fast. But from a like power perspective, it's slow. But yes, you're right. Um, the Rune Blades and the Guardians are a little bit too good. Yeah, probably. I don't like the uninteractive aspect of chain. That makes me really nervous. I think that in a lower power, lower health format, the non-interaction is the worst. Like to the point to where confidence can be a little worrisome, to be honest with you. It's just the truth of the matter. So here we have to block. Maybe we go like that. We keep the red that does a little bit of damage. 16, 16. Yeah, you're gonna do it. Sure. I didn't know he didn't activate Death Dealer. That is unfortunate. That's okay. We'll just take the 5. We'll just take the 5. I'm probably like misplaying that. I should probably just like go for the throat. Maybe I will in the next good hand. I think I'm playing a little bit too passive in this situation. Yeah, something like this. Like maybe we just it's not even that good, but like, we can make it work. This is an 8 fused with the arcane, so we can just go bramble fuse, stir fuse, no go again, but that's fine. Yeah, 8 here. Yeah, we'll just take it and yeet it. Start making him give up some cards. We will take the 8. All right, just a casual 9 or 11 if he takes the arcane. Okay, he's pitching a rabble for that. We take those. So still 9. Best of luck. Got to give me 2 more cards, and then I have tempo, and or you just get them all and still take damage and have an arsenal. And okay, sure. We're gonna go ahead and end this one. We gonna end this one. Gonna weave earth. We're gonna bramble. We're gonna fuse. Then we're going to stir, which has go again now. We're gonna fuse. Boy, if that was blue, we could have pumped again. Still have a weapon coming in afterwards. Now they get 1. And yeah. Now we just go weave earth here, fuse. And it's just a 3-card 12. That's it. Just a 3-card 12. Nothing serious. Let's have the 12 block, but we just get the arsenal and do it all again. Except with a little bit of pizzazz behind this one. We get the weapon swing. Another 12 plus the 3 on the weapon and an arsenal. I'm telling you, chat, the numbers good. Okay, the numbers are good. Okay, so that's kind of like the idea. Okay, let's pivot for just a second. Let's change the script for just a second. All right, chat, level with me here. Let me know. 1 out of 10. Be brutally honest. Okay, where are we at with the list? 1 out of 10. Let me know right now. Put it in chat. I gotta know. What's the feedback? Are we cooking? Are we burning? Somewhere in between? Where we at? Let me know. I think it's actually good. I think it's actually like really, really competitive. It just it can be defensive. Oh my god. Ain't no way it's a 3 out of 10. 3 out of 3? Three Jason. Stop. Jason. Jason. There's no way you're giving me a 4 out of 10. There's no way. 8.5. Drawing 1 attack in those last few hands were scary though. And that's why we run Hope Merchants. And that is why we run Hope Merchants. And to be honest, what should happen, so if you look at the yellow cards are actually insane. Like that's the part that kind of surprised me was like I couldn't when I first built the deck, I was like it was kind of ridiculous in regards to like it just felt bad playing the yellows. But when you actually do the math behind them, it's like literally, we can and in regards to drawing the clunkers, 100% accurate. So my very first stream that I ever did, it's like 2.5, 3 years ago, whatever. Like there is a counting strategy that you can actually utilize to make sure or reduce the chances of you bricking. And to be honest, like you can adjust the ratio just a little bit. Right now, we're at 17 attacks, 23 non attacks is the ratio. You could change it to an 18-22. That's not crazy. Probably you definitely wouldn't wanna go up to a 20/20 because then things can get a little weird. Not only that, but you're right after the 17 mark, your attack action card that your pumps apply to, the quality of those cards, they kinda go off a cliff, to be honest. Um, so, like, that is the idea, but yes, there is a card counting strategy, and I'll do a little recap just for basically anybody that hasn't seen the first. But if you want like the detailed breakdown, I'm telling you, it's the very first stream I ever did. I called it the Briar Masterclass, and basically what the idea is okay. So we're starting at. I need to show the screen for this to kind of make some sense. So if we go to the stats page, okay. So when you load up the deck of 40 cards, you have 17 attack actions and 23 non-attack actions. Therefore, all you have to do is you give every attack action card in your deck a value of -1. Okay. You give that's every attack action -1. Every non-attack action, you give a value of +1. Okay. And then every time we'll use the draw four as a way to simulate this. Every time so when I load the deck at a 17-23 split, we start the game at a -6. Okay. That means that in my deck composition currently, we have 6 more attacks than we do non-attacks, aka 23 minus 17. Okay. Then we draw our hand and we do the quick math as far as how that has changed. Okay. So this hand has a total composition of 3 attack actions and 1 non attack action. Therefore, the net value of this hand is -1, -1, -1, +1. You add all 4 of those numbers together really quickly. This is like really easy. You come to a value of -2, right? Because these two just cancel out. And then you have -1, -1 for -2. So then you add -2 to -6. And my running ratio would be -8. That's where we start getting into extreme territory. We have to start planning either for a Hope Merchant's Hood bailout, or we have to start planning for a putting a attack action in the arsenal or else shit's going to get really dicey. So we draw the next hand. Remember, we're at, and yes, somebody's going to ask you count the cards that you are pitching because unless you shuffle your deck, which Hope Merchants is the only way you can do that, you're not going to see them for a long time. And then once you do see them, it should be your pitch stack. You should know that. So we're at -8. We draw this hand. We go, okay, attack, 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 non attack. -2 again. So now we're at -10. Alarm bells should be ringing in your head. You should say, "Oh shit. What line can I take that makes the most sense to where I can put a fucking attack in arsenal?" That is my number one priority to not lose the game. Because when you draw your next hand, it is extremely likely to be all non-attacks. Now, this one is not. It is a perfect split, so we still keep a -10 split. And we draw another hand, and then boom, there's one attack. We start tilting the other direction, right? Because the deck is really low on attack actions. So this hand composition is plus or -1, +1, and then we have 2 +1s. So now we're back up to -8. We draw another hand, boom, same composition. We're at +2. Now we're back up to the original -6. You just keep that rolling number in your head, and that lets you know when you are approaching brick territory and when you need to plan for it. And what that allows you to do is manage that clunky risk that all of you kind of pointed out when I asked you how the deck felt. So, once again, starting at a -6 due to my ratio, if you change to 18-22 ratio, you would start at a -4. We go here, we have once again a total value of -2. We would roll it to a -8, draw another hand, boom. We're at a +2 on this hand composition. We're back to a -6. And we do it here, and it's even, doesn't change. Still at a -6. And then boom, there's 3 non-attacks. We're back to a -4. We're at a perfectly healthy kind of composition of the deck, and we can just kind of roll with it, not worry about it. And then we just break out of nowhere because we're Rune Blades. That does happen, right? that is a risk of playing Rune Blade. Anytime you have attacks, non-attacks, it happens, right? But we're actively just trying to plan for that. And that's kind of the idea of the card counting strategy. It's literally the same concept as um it is the exact same concept as card counting in blackjack. You're just instead of counting cards that are high in value or lower in value, you're just counting attacks and non-attacks. Exact same premise. Not reinventing the wheel here. Now I'm saying it like it's so easy. And it is actually extremely difficult when you first do it, just because mentally it's a lot that you're kind of keeping up with. But I promise you, if somebody with an Alabama education can do this in a stream game while talking with chat and keep a number rolling, I think you can get the hang of it. I think you'll be just fine. Okay. So that's kind of the idea. See, Jason knows elementary school teacher, right? Better than being middle school. I tell you that. Holy shit, I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine. Shout out to our teachers, man. They don't get paid enough. They don't get paid enough, man. That is a tough job. That is a tough job. We're getting kicked out of the casino with this one. I mean, I'm not gonna tell you to not use it there, but if you do, that's on you. That's on you. But hey, I get it. Play the game, see the world, right? You know what I'm saying? Play the game, go to chat. No, I'm just kidding. So that is the Briar deck. That's what we've been cooking up. Okay. It's what we've been rolling with. Overall, it's an extremely fun deck. Um, I think it's super competitive. I think it's actually really, really good. Do I think it's the best deck in Sage? No, I don't. Do I think it is like if I was going to do a Sage tier list? I think the deck list probably lands somewhere in the realm of A tier. To be 100% honest with you, might be a little biased there, but I'm telling you, once you understand how to mitigate risk in the different lines where you can be really aggressive out of nowhere, like I think it's really good. I think it's really good. Um, and more more importantly, I think it's just a refreshing way to play Briar. If I'm being honest with you, that's the thing I'm happiest about the most with this deck specifically is it's just a completely new take on how to take the hero first spin. Simple as that. Like I legitimately think that it's the perfect combination. If you There has to be players like myself that really like the Cheerios version that's all red and stuff like that. And but they also kind of like that beefy Briar 3 for 7 kind of deck that blocks a lot. It's literally the perfect combination because it has both elements. We just kind of met in the middle in the deck building process. And I think once again, it's not completely fleshed out. I built this deck. Where does it say? I created it on the 19th, and the last time it's been updated was on the 20th. So I built this deck in a day. Kind of, because like I opened the stream with, the idea was this was a CC deck. So the premise was there, just refining it for stage took a day, right? And also, if you notice on those stats or those dates, this was before we had any Silver Age tournament. So it hasn't been tailored for the meta. So there might be some cards like somebody mentioned in chat. You know, you might want to run Summer's Fall or something like that to kind of slow chain down. Those are options you can take. I literally encourage you to just go over here, ignore the Rune Blade tab, not important, and just click on this Earth and Elemental button and see what's there. Just go through it. Like, I've tried this. It costs 3 Earth War Surge. It's cute, kind of good, but just I couldn't get it to work well enough, right? But you have some stuff like, you know, I tried the decomposition strength of the 4 seasons kind of idea. It just wasn't quite there. Strong yield, if it calls 0, 100% in there. But and it's not a bad card. It just costing 1 can kind of get you in some tough spots, to be honest. So um that's kind of where I land with that. But yeah, like there's so many cards. I think I have close to the best you're gonna get. You could, try to go Canopy Shelter or something like that. This card is super risky. Be very careful if you try to play it because you cannot treat this card as a fuse card, right? So it's saying Earth is completely irrelevant because that's the only thing that matters in our deck because we're actively trying to fuse. You know, you can't arsenal it, right? And so therefore, it's not just isn't an Earth card basically. Other than that, yeah, we've kind of tried a little bit of everything. We have the defensive package, we have the aggression, we have the longevity that we literally can't lose to fatigue. We don't get cheesed out by confidence and dominate. We also, we have the blues to actually combat ice. Oldham ice reaction literally does not matter because we've already pitched our card that we're going to swing for weapon, and all they're getting with ice reaction is the fuse card. And the fuse card has already served its purpose at that point because we front load all of our shit. So they literally can't stop it. There's nothing that they can do. Ice react is completely irrelevant. You kind of just run over. Um, you just kind of run over Oldham, to be honest. Like it does really, really well into those scenarios. And we can also check out a little bit of the elemental cards. I've also tried like buffing up the lightning package, like putting in burn up shock because it tends to convert a little bit better than the 0 for 4 version of Briar because you're going a lot taller on that one good attack. However, the earth ratio, if you think it's clunky now, like I tried to get a little gritty and put like a couple more lightning cards, like another yellow weave lightning and like entwine what is it? Entwine lightning and things like that. Like I tried to kind of build in a little bit of value there and it's fine, but it does add another level of variance or clunkiness, if you will. So just be kind of careful there. Have I tried the new pin cards? To be honest with you, absolutely not. I have not, but they seem decent. Like this is a 3 for 7, which is unfortunate. Um, and I assume that this cannot fuse, right? That's the main thing holding these cards back. Is what is the Earth version of this? There is one, right? It's probably pretty good. If an Earth card was pitched to play this, but my thing is like we're never doing that, right? Like we are never pitching a card to play a defense reaction. No shot. Um, so no, not a fan of this. If it costs 0, I'm all on board. But no, where it currently stands does not seem worth it. Now, if we could play old knocker, I would run one in a heartbeat because that'd be insane value. Actually, it wouldn't because you wouldn't even make. Yeah, it doesn't make sense because you wouldn't even make the embodiment. It'd literally just be 5 block. Same thing. Good. So definitely not. But yeah, if this would fuse, it'd be a lot better. But currently, the pin cards don't really help this deck particularly. But who knows, right? We only have like a handful of them, so we'll kind of see which direction that kind of goes. But yeah, that's kind of where we at. There's some other options that you have. You can run literally yellow invigorate if you want to. It still is here for 3. Solid. Remember, we're always fusing. Just keep in mind that invigorate gets a little risky because it reduces your ability to kind of shrink your hand. It forces you into actively fusing and playing this card. So it basically mandates a 4 card hand or a 3 card hand in Arsenal. So just be careful with that. But yeah. So I just wanted to bring everybody that. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I wasn't planning on streaming for a particularly long time. Um, but if you have any questions or anything or comments, throw them in chat. I'd love to get to them. And then once again, I will post the deck list in the live stream decks channel in the Card Guys Discord, and I'll post it there. And please enjoy it. Enjoy it. I hope you have a lot of fun playing it. Hopefully, you can make it better somehow. I think I got it there. The ratio. I've spent a lot of time on these ratios, but I'm interested to see how people can kind of leverage it a little bit further. maybe go a little bit more of a life gain angle, something like that. I'd be interested in kind of seeing that. Um, this is a card that I did spend some time thinking about just because when you play it as an instant, it can still right? You can still fuse well, you can't fuse with it because it's elemental, but, after you fuse, you can play it and it fits the curve, so you'd be playing this instead of swinging sword, but you still carry the embodiment over because theoretically this would be your second non-attack. So I would rather just have a 0 cost with go again to swing sword. That's why it's not in the deck. But if you wanted to make a more defensive version, go for it. Throw in some earth forms. We played around with that. We played around with this card. Making 2 embodiments is insane. So we played around that a little bit. Sizzle is just another pump that basically applies to everything except your earth attacks, which is literally just Autumn's Touch is the only thing it doesn't apply to, and fruits. But yeah, like there's a couple other card options, and they will be in the maybe board. Feel free to experiment. And yeah, going to watch the Briar Masterclass. See you next week. Enjoy it. The thumbnail is absolutely hilarious, but I hope you enjoy it. And it goes through all the extreme detail of counting cards and things like that. And you can use it for things that are not Briar. You can literally, I've had people say that they used it for like Ranger and not breaking on arrows and things like that. It has so many applications. Hell, you can do it to reduce your risk of not drawing a blue. Like, I mean, there's so many different applications for it. I've always wanted to make explosive growth work. Yeah, me too, but you just don't go wide enough for it to make any sense. But I did zoom in on the card for quite some time, but it just did not quite make sense. But yeah, I hope everybody enjoys the list. I hope that I'm telling you, it's just a refreshing way to play Briar, and I absolutely love it. So, I hope everybody had a good time. Thank you so much for joining. And can you teach me in person? I couldn't follow Jason. Always down to see Jason. Of course. Hope to see you in RTN season, if not before. I'm not going to. Wait, you are Brian. That shit was hilarious, bro. I like the best thumbnail on the planet. What is it? An Animorphs meme? Oh, if you're old like me, you get it. You get it. Um, but yeah, thank you all so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it, and I wish everybody the best. And I will see everybody next week. Take care.